Welcome to Talk of the Town Through the Years, highlighting articles from the weekly Menomonee Falls News. Today's featured articles from June 1915 to 1965. June 4th, 1915. In the Assembly last week, an amendment of real merit was offered by the Honorable W. H. Edwards relative to the present law and not permitting boys under 18 years to work in stone quarries. The Social Democratic members and a few others opposed it. Mr. Edwards efficiently showed how in many localities the boys were shut out from earning good wages, and that contrary to the general belief, the quarry industry was not as claimed to be the third most dangerous occupation, and that no merit could be found in passing laws which in their enforcement caused loafing in a community. No one could say that outside of handling explosives, boys under 18 years might not work in stone quarries. June 19, 1925. The demand for the Maytag washer has resulted in an order for a carload. The first truck delivery was made Thursday when part of the consignment went to the furniture house of E. L. Schmidt. Every housewife admires the Maytag, Mr. Schmidt says. June 1945. From Germany.
Dear PSO, I know I haven't written you for quite some time, but up to now we've done a lot of moving around. But we're finally settled down a little bit. Just how long it'll last, I don't know. We're set up pretty good here now that Germany has surrendered. We're living in a town called Bad Ems. It's about 15 miles east of Koblenz. The Germans used to come here for their health, and it's a really beautiful city. Our rooms have all got hot and cold running water, and we're finally living like humans again. Our 106th Division took the brunt of a German counteroffensive last December up in the Ardennes around St. Vite, and at that time I never thought we'd see a victory over here as soon as this. 2 of our regiments were surrounded and forced to surrender after they were out of food and ammunition. Those of us that were lucky enough to get out were a pretty much beaten bunch of fellows. After being reorganized, we were sent back to the front and were on a push to the Rhine. But that time, we were doing the dealing. I've been receiving the news and ammunition as regularly as can be expected. It's surely good to hear of what's going on back home, and I surely appreciate what you've been doing for all of us. I had a 3-day pass to Paris about a month ago and had quite a time there. They really turned the town over to the men back from the front. For 3 days you can do just as you please, and all this is possible through the Red Cross. They're really doing quite a job. The thing we're sweating out now is whether we'll stay here in the Army of Occupation or whether we'll be taking a ride to the Pacific. I think that's the thing on every soldier's mind right now in the ETO. Thanks again for everything, and I'll try not to wait so long before writing again. Regards, Corporal Leo Kreuzer.
June 9th and June 16th, 1955. Historic buildings demolished. The old school cafeteria, one of the landmarks in the history of Menomonee Falls, is to be dismantled. The shabby little white building, its usefulness at an end, is to be torn down to make way for a driveway into the school parking lot. Built in 1895 by the IOGT, otherwise known as the Good Templars. This organization was formed to encourage temperance, and all members took a pledge never to touch intoxicating beverages. It was well organized and very active in the last half of the 19th century, but the group grew smaller, and it eventually closed. It was sold to the Ladies' Aid of Emmanuel Church in the 1930s, and when they no longer needed it in 1946, it was sold to the Lincoln Lodge. Never used by the Masons, the building was leased and then purchased by the school and eventually was used as a lunchroom. In use for the last 9 years, between 340 and 390 lunches have been served daily. The last lunches were served in the old building on May 27th. Demolishment of this building, too, is also underway. Believed to be one of the oldest in Menomonee Falls, it's located on Fond du Lac Avenue next to the theater. Frederick Nays was the first man to erect this stone building in the village. He built it in 1847 of local limestone. For years, that substantial structure was quite a showcase along the highway from Chicago to Green Bay. It was in later years owned by such Old Falls families as the Rotts and the Felsings. June 3, 1965. Grand opening ceremonies for the new McDonald's Drive-In will be held Thursday morning at 11 a.m. McDonald's is located on Appleton Avenue at Pilgrim Road. The grand opening ceremonies will be highlighted by the cutting of a ribbon of $1 bills by Village President Howard Matheson. Following the ceremonies, the dollar bills will be given to the ranch, a camp for disabled children. James W. Pihos, owner of the new McDonald's, is the first cousin to Pete Pihos, all-pro player for the Philadelphia Eagles. The new drive-in will be open from 11 to 11 on Sundays through Thursdays and from 11 till midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. Up to 35 employees, all boys, are employed at the McDonald's drive-ins. And those are our stories for this month. Thanks for tuning in. Join us next month for a talk of the town through the years on Falls Cable Access.